Hello, everyone, and we will be doing a kind of like a nostalgia type thing, which is why I'm probably going to call this a nostalgia time. I haven't officially come up with something in my head yet, but this one will be covering a very old game for the not the PlayStation or anything. This is actually going to be for the Super Nintendo, so it's fairly old. It's the Illusions of Gaia. It's one of those RPGs that were really story driven and took you to different places, like from the Nazca lines to Egypt to Tibet to like various other places. You even get to explore the Great Wall of China in it, and all these places they're not just places that you go to just to explore, and they're places that are based in the game itself. Because the premise of the story is that a comet is headed towards the Earth, and you and your friends are supposed to stop it somehow, and it's supposed to be like some sentient comet or something. It's been about 20 years since I've played it, so my memory might be a bit rusty on it. But it is one of those games that I highly recommend if you are into RPGs, and uh, quite frankly, it is a really, really hard game. I mean, I've yet to play a game since maybe Legend of Dragoon that was just as hard, but also just as enjoyable. Um, Spoiler, that's gonna be next episode probably. Legend of Dragoon, just saying. But yeah, if you have the chance to get the game, I'd say get it because you will not regret it. You also have to remember this is a sprite-based game. It's not like It's not like a 3D game. Like all of it is just like pixels, front view, side views, and back views for each of the characters. Uh, the combat system itself is actually like a fun one to try, and it's not like the standard RPG one, like the Final Fantasy series, where you would end up having like some kind of like battles scene or whatever. No, like you actually, as the character, have to move around and actually attack. It's like all about the timing in this game. If you want to take as little damage as possible, you need to be moving around more. If you want to just go like all full bore, you can do that. There's also different kind of transformations for the main character itself, but you cannot transform at will. You actually have to go to like a Gaia platform or something like that. It's kind of like a save point area that you'll be able to switch between the main character Will and like this knight guy that's also in the game. I forget what his name is. And then once you proceed farther enough into the game itself, you do actually unlock a another option, which is like some kind of like flame, like a flying fire guy or whatever. Uh, it, these are all important because Will can do certain things that the other two characters can't, and those two can do things that Will can't and that each other can't. So, like all the puzzles are in the game. You might actually be having to switch back and forth between Will, the knight, and the fire guy. Uh, just to solve these puzzles, you can't just stay as one character. You actually have to think about what you're doing, think about all the different things. It's kind of like the puzzle for the Nazca lines when you get transported up to some kind of sky platform, and that's it, like, and the entire thing is just up in the sky on this platform that people can't see from below. But when you get to the edge, you can actually see the ground below. You can see all the Nazca lines. You can see all the different things. It's kind of like when you go to Egypt, where the boss fight for the Egypt level is like either like one of the queens or one of the gods or something. All the mobs in this game are actually also driven by the mythology of those areas as well. For like the areas for the Middle East, it's kind of like like the masked bird people and things like that. So it's got a large variety. It's got a lot, like a story that you actually like. It's got like these really upbeat scenes. It's got these really sad scenes. Uh, like there's even like this little pig character that you actually have toting along with you that you end up liking. That ends up to save everyone, sacrificing itself, which is like a really sad thing. And because you actually get to really like that, like all these characters. There's certain characters that you really get to like. There's certain characters that you kind of go, I don't like him. He seems suspicious, but end up being like the still good guys or whatever, and they end up rejoining you. Uh, you also have to keep in mind that not everyone that is a follower in the game will stay as a follower. You might lose some only to regain them later on in the story because it's all like story driven, story based, uh, like a game that has puzzles and a bit of platforming. You do have to climb up areas and things like that. There's even a couple like towns and things that you get to explore, and there's the usual item shops and whatnot. Then like the inventory system is it's like it's not one of those games you get to collect everything in the game. The inventory is actually limited, so you do have to pick and choose. So most of what you're gonna be doing is carrying around like health and like magic and things like that to restore all that. So uh, uh, before I go on to say anything else about this game, I think I'll end it here just by saying I want you to go out there. I want you to find this game. I want you to play it. I want you to experience it for yourself because it is one of those games that when I was little, I started playing this game and I just really enjoyed playing it. It's one of those ones that you pick up the controller and you just don't want to put it down. It's that good of a game. So uh, if let me know if you want to hear more kind of rants about like old games and this nostalgia thing for this from this guy. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below if you want to see more of what's going on. That's not just me playing games or showing off mods. Let me know below, and I can try to do more of these nostalgia time kind of episodes. Hopefully they'll be a lot better because I don't know how I'm going to actually set this one up yet. But this is just like a recording, like a sound recording right now, and I'm going to be adding like images to it for like the final product going up. But I want to try to do more than just gameplay, more than just the mods. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see, and I could try to make that for you to the best of my abilities. No, however limited they are. So uh, take care, and I'll see you in whatever comes after the show. See ya.